Y'all, they on Facebook begging now. This girl talk about she took her rent money and went and bought concert floor seat tickets to see NBA Youngboy. And now her and her kids.
Hold on. So if you don't know what we're looking at, you all, the caption says girl getting evicted for using rent money to go see NBA Youngboy. And if you don't know who NBA Youngboy is, he's probably one of the hottest young rappers of this time. But definitely, definitely a crash out for sure. But if we look a little deeper here, we can actually even see the Facebook post that allegedly the woman put. So it reads, my rent is currently past due because I bought floor seats to the NBA Youngboy concert. Now they trying to evict me and my kids. Can all my Facebook friends cash at me $1? That should be enough to catch up. I got 7K friends. Wow. Then it says rent current status. The past due amount says $4,000. So now it's everybody else's responsibility. And you boldly come on here and you acknowledge the fact that you actually chose to go to a concert instead of actually taking care of your responsibilities. And you're a mother. You're a single mother at that. And these are the decisions that you make. And now it's everyone else's responsibility to come and clean it up. And ultimately, you don't learn the lesson. And you don't even really seem remorseful about this. It very much seems entitled. But let's just go ahead and hear the whole story. And then we can give our commentary. Definitely can't wait to hear what you all think about this, though.
Y'all, they on Facebook begging now. This girl talk about she took her rent money and went and bought concert floor seat tickets to see NBA Youngboy. And now her and her kids is getting evicted. And she says she got 7,000 followers, and if everybody send her $1, then that would be enough for her to pay her rent. First of
Hmm.
all, your rent ain't $7,000,
Right.
so stop it.
See how they
If your
playing?
rent is $7,000, honey, you are months behind.
It ain't even
Why
4,000.
should anybody pay your rent? Because you decide to take your rent money, knowing you got kids, and go to a young NBA concert. Why don't you call young NBA young boy and tell him to pay your damn rent? You gotta be the slowest person on this app, one of them anyway. On any app, matter of fact. Cause who would take their rent money and risk getting put out to go see NBA Youngboy? Or go see anybody for that matter? Like, these kids need to get their damn priorities straight. But all I can tell her to do is start calling the shelters. Cause ain't nobody sending her no money.
Key word right here. Key word.
Like, these kids need to get their damn priorities straight.
So is she a kid or is she a mother? I think that's the problem. We got kids and people who think like kids deciding to have kids, and they're really just not taking it serious. They're really just not taking it serious. Y'all, real quick though, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And really just a click. So if you're anyway, then you might as well click that like button. And also if you can hype the video as well. But again, kids having kids, and I think that's the problem. And people who think like kids, which ultimately just represents the fact that they haven't matured. People who lack maturity, I don't know why they're deciding to have kids. I think we have an indication. A lot of people trying to live off the system and they're having kids for all the wrong reasons. And now that's being cleaned up. And so we see a lot of people getting evicted. But what it also comes down to, as we see, is the decisions because people still don't want to give up their lifestyle and their desires ultimately. People are impulsive all the way across the board. It starts with having these kids impulsively without a plan, without even a family, without even any type of commitment. And then all of a sudden, you can't even sacrifice for the kids you decided to have. And I wouldn't even call it sacrifice. You're just living within your means. You can't afford to go to a concert, obviously. So what makes you think that you get to go? Let's read some of these comments. It says, ask me if I'm feeling sorry for her. Only for her kids. So he only feels sorry for her kids. But I'm not Superman. I can't help only myself as a man. First is me. Okay. Somebody said, I'm trying to see why anyone should care. It's a lot of laughing emojis. Somebody said, the sad part is that there are more of her out there, and she would take our donated money that we gave her and will not pay the landlord. Exactly. Exactly. This is completely your fault. Whatever situation you end up in, you really chose this, because we see a lot of people out here playing stupid games and they're going to win stupid prizes. And a lot of people don't take things serious until the consequences are at their front door. They don't know how to take a warning. You know what happens if you don't pay your rent, and you know what the potential could be. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get into some more clips. Again, y'all, if you could like the video, it helps out more than you know.
So y'all, they on Facebook begging now. This girl
So,
talk
same thing.
about
This is NBA Youngboy. This is the rapper. This is who she put it all on the line to go see. This is who she put it all on the line to go see. And keep in mind, she didn't even just, if it wasn't bad enough that she's not living in her means, you obviously can't afford to go to a concert. She also got floor seats. She got floor seats. She wanted to be front row and center, which makes sense. If you're going to, I guess if you're going to be willing to risk your entire rent to go to this concert, you might as well go the full way, because it says she owed $4,000. So I think she was behind anyway. And that's what's real egregious about this. $4,000, you're at least 2 months behind. I think she just didn't care, and she just got her check and she just said, nothing's going towards this rent. And I think that's how she lives already, because that's how you get months behind on your rent. I think she was already living like this. It's just more egregious now because she's let enough time go by to where the eviction is actually very real now, and it's happening. And so now this is when she's got to raise some money. But again, this is the guy.
she took her rent money and went and bought concert
To go see
floor
that.
seat tickets to see NBA Youngboy. And now her and her kids is getting evicted. And she says she got 7,000 followers, and if everybody sent her $1, then that would be enough for her to pay her rent. First of all, your rent ain't $7,000.
Right.
Young NBA Youngboy and tell him to pay your damn rent. You gotta be the slowest person. See NBA Youngboy.
Pretty much the same sentiment. All right, we're gonna have to mute this. That's a big beat, and by big beat I just mean that's a popular beat, so that can get copyright struck. But it says, I just got evicted. Chris Brown, can you see this? I need a ticket, VIP. That's it. Somebody just got evicted, and their first priority is to be thinking that in order to make it right, in order to make it better, they need to go see Chris Brown at his concert. I've been saying this. I literally, if you've been watching me for long enough and we see people who are acting like this is the worst economy, I always literally say this exact thing. I've never seen a concert that wasn't sold out. Do you think I knew that it was literal to this extent and to this degree? I kind of did, but I never thought it would be brought to the light in this way.
I just got evicted. Chris Brown, can you see this? I need me a ticket, VIP, and that's it. So the first thing you think about when you get evicted is going to a Chris Brown concert. You didn't make a GoFundMe. You didn't ask for your community to rally around you. You didn't even ask Chris Brown for money. You told Chris Brown you need to be at the Breezy Bowl. And would you look at the, how did I know? Single mom. Now listen, I feel bad.
Pattern recognition. He already knew. See, he don't give a F. I just let the facts come out and then we talk about it. But here we have another person who decided to be a mother and is prioritizing a celebrity that don't give two ish about her. Prioritizing a celebrity over her own kids. Something's off with y'all. Something is like very much wrong. And we have to start calling it out because we just let it just fly by and we think it's cute and it's not. And you're the people raising the kids. And the kids are getting neglected to the point to where their basic needs are getting neglected. Their shelter. You're getting evicted to go and see concerts. Or when you get evicted, your first thought is you need to go to a concert as opposed to get your kid in shelter. As well as other things that's probably being neglected. I honestly think it'll be people, their kids will need a new pair of shoes. They'll be in the some dingy pair of shoes that's falling apart. And if they got to pick between going and getting their kids a new pair of shoes and going and seeing NBA Youngboy or Chris Brown, they're going to prioritize the celebrity.
The single moms that are doing everything that they can, trying to put food on the table for their kids, struggling with the fact that the father is not in their life. But unfortunately, this is y'all's representation. People that wouldn't know what a priority was if it smacked them in the face. Their hair will be done, their nails will be done, they'll pay $1,000 to get a pic with Chris Brown, and yet they're still on EBT and living in Section 8 housing. Make sure y'all pray for them kids, man.
Right, that's all we can really do. Man, just feel bad for the kids. Somebody said maybe she's hoping he would see this and send her a little something. Well, that's entitled, don't you think? That's very entitled to think that. To think you just post something on here. Because you just should not be concerned with that. You're evicted. What are we not understanding? Why would that be your concern? Somebody said here, somebody said LMFAO. She said, I'm a mom, and the last thing I'd be trying to do if I got evicted would not be going to a concert. I'd be posting, asking my friends if they know of any jobs I can do on the side. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I was getting a little skeptical when she said I'd be posting, because I was like, well, but you're still gonna be begging. And see, I went in with good faith, and she said she'd be asking if they know of any jobs. That's the last thing she's about to ask for. That's the last thing this person's about to ask for. Don't ask me what race it was who left that comment. Your feelings will be hurt.
You think she could get on stage with Chris Brown? Take you down, huh? Take you down here.
The caption says, woman kicked out after spending $20K on Chris Brown stage experience. Huh. Woman kicked out. Oh, this is her husband, or allegedly, I assume. Because it says he felt humiliated because his wife went to a Chris Brown concert. What do you think about that? So if it wasn't bad enough, you're prioritizing celebrities over your kids and over your shelter. You prioritizing the celebrity over your own dang husband. The celebrity gets treated like a king, and your husband gets treated like a peasant. And you go and humiliate your husband. Let's check this out.
You think she could get on stage with Chris Brown? Take you down, huh? Take you down here. Here's the rest of your shit.
A woman was kicked out of her home by her husband after spending more than $20,000 to perform on stage with Chris Brown. A viral TikTok claims the man ended the relationship after seeing a video of his wife taking part in a VIP experience during a Chris Brown concert. In the clip, the woman appears to smile while Chris Brown performs closely behind her on stage. Her husband later posted a video showing him throwing her belongings outside and telling her to leave their home. The situation became even more controversial after online posts claimed the woman used more than $20,000 from the couple's shared savings account for the concert experience. Many people say that if your girlfriend goes to a Chris Brown concert, you might as well break up with her. And Chris Brown himself has said that if you have a partner, it's best not to go.
If your husband or your man brought you to this show, this is not for you, goddamn.
So the question is, would you forgive your wife if she did this?
You think she could get on?
And then the way people will try to justify this, I had to see the comments on this now. Somebody said, I'm a woman and he did right. This woman says, Chris Brown can't break no home. That wasn't even built on trust. If your relationship ends over a Chris Brown concert, it was never built on nothing, period. So she's trying to defend it. A lot of y'all try to defend it. Bad behavior that's clearly bad, because that then just extends more leeway that you can operate in, because that's really how you want to operate. So you're probably in the same boat as that woman, as far as you want to be able to do things like that as well, which ultimately is just a poor representation on you as a woman. Somebody responded to her. She said, huh? She literally cheated, sis. I'm glad you holding her accountable. She said, even if he did trust her, that's all out the door once you spend $20,000 to get dry humped and kissed on. Yeah, he did right. Going to the concert is one thing, but she went over and beyond, and the concert all while married. And then she gonna respond, yeah, but she didn't like him for real, for real. She settled, and that's what happened when you settle with someone you don't really want to be with anyway. So that's also on you. She didn't settle. I don't really know women who settle for real. She prioritized. And by prioritized, you all will see other redeeming qualities a lot of times in the form of someone's bank account, which was ironically what she went in to go to that concert. Think about the fact that she went in, she took $20K out of the bank account to go to a concert. That means that wasn't their only $20K. I wouldn't be surprised if she took that $20K out, because there's so much in that bank account that she was banking on the fact that he wouldn't even notice. But typically, the bank will get you alerts, and it'll give you some type of it'll send you something when that type of money gets spent or sent. Well, not really. Not really, actually. It depends on your bank. Because if people are moving around money in brokerage accounts, then you already know what it's like to be transferring money or whatever. So ultimately, it ain't like she took out their last. That would be crazy. So that means that brother has some money stashed away to where you could take out $20K and feel like you can blow it in a night, ultimately, because that's all you did. You blew $20K in one night. So that's what she prioritized. Ultimately, she was a gold digger, and she was looking more so for stability and security and provision. And that's ultimately, she didn't settle for that. She prioritized that, but she wants everything. So although she made the concession to marry this man for that, she still wants to be able to have the excitement and the attraction that she's used to when she was probably out here in the streets. So she's going to try to have it all, especially now that she has the commitment. But when you do something like that, I don't know if things are still legally binding as far as you being able to take half of what this man has. I don't know. But regardless, it can still be sticky in these court situations. But yeah, I mean, the comments are all over the place. But yeah, it's egregious to spend $20K like that for nothing real. You spent $20K to disrespect your husband. Ain't that something? You went and spent $20K to disrespect me publicly. I believe that those clips that it was showing while it was going by in the video, the B-roll, allegedly, I believe that was actually the woman. I think that was really her. And that, if that was, that was absolutely disrespectful.
So the other day, y'all, something just told me to check my email. I had a chaotic night, and I had been arguing with my kid's father, and something was just like, check your emails, okay? So I checked my emails, y'all. I got an email telling me that we're no longer on the waiting list and that we're in line, or we basically are in the process of getting our own place. And Lord knows I couldn't thank nobody but God himself. When I tell y'all that this man works in the most mysterious ways, he works in the most mysterious ways. I promise you, I had been praying. Every time me and my grandmother got into it, every time I got into it with anybody, I prayed, Lord, please bless me and my kids with our own place. Please.
You getting into it with your grandma? That's kind of crazy.
Every time I got into it with anybody, I prayed, Lord, please bless me and my kids with our own place. Please bless us with our own place. And I kid you not, that man above came right on through. He came right on through, right on time, y'all. Not just that, the kids are fixing to get out of school for summer, which is perfect for everything that we're going through. Then on top of that, I told y'all I'm trying to take them to Florida for our yearly vacation. And Lord, if God keep blessing me the way that He's doing, and
Huh?
keep covering me with keep holding His hands, or
Hold
covering
on,
me
hold on,
with
hold
His
on. Huh? Wait a second.
and Lord, if God keep blessing me the way that not just that, the kids are fixing to get out of school for summer, which is perfect for everything that we're going through. Then on top of that, I told y'all I'm trying to take them to Florida for our yearly vacation. And Lord, if God
Wait a second. Okay, yearly
arguing
vacation. Let me
so the
see.
other
What
day,
was this
y'all,
again?
something just told me to check my email. I had had a chaotic night, and I had been arguing with my kid's father, and something was just like, "He check your emails." Okay, so I checked my emails, y'all. I got an email telling me that we're no longer on the waiting list and that we're in line.
Okay. So let me get this straight. You're finally up on the waiting list. So you've been waiting for Section 8. Government assistance, public subsidized housing. So basically you finally got your turn up on the waiting list for the government and ultimately the taxpayers to be taking care of you. And you're telling me that you all get to take a yearly annual trip? Again, you see how this came back to the priorities again? If you're on public housing, public assistance, that means that because also the waiting list limits are changing now. It's only going to be 2 years. So if you're on public housing, that means that if you would not have been saved by this program, you would have been on the streets. But also another thing that we often see is this is kind of the playbook that people are able to do. Because if she didn't have her grandma's house to go live in, most likely rent free, that's probably why they're getting into it. Because she's probably not doing anything. She's just on the waiting list. Because if she did get her life together, then she might have been waiting on the waiting list for 2 years. Now you get taken off. If you ever get back on it again, you got to go to the back of the list or whatever. But if you're now making income and you don't need it anymore, then you'd be off the waiting list. So a lot of times people have to either stay with other people who are on Section 8 and have an agreement that, hey, if anything ever happens to yours, you can come to mine, but let me stay here while I'm waiting. Or they'll just stay with family. They'll just stay with family and they'll wait on the waiting list. And by wait on the waiting list, I ultimately mean they won't be trying to actually improve their lives because they're waiting. They're waiting on something. Waiting on something. Imagine if you're trapped on an island. You got washed away to shore on an island. And you see all these wooden planks. And then you see some dried up seaweed that's as strong as rope. And you see other building materials. Ultimately, you got all the materials right there to build a boat and then start sailing your butt anywhere. But yet you say, I'm just going to sit here on the sand and I'm going to wait for a ship to pass by. And then I'm going to just be loud and scream. That's basically what these people do. They got all the materials to start getting their life together. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times. But they would rather just wait on the waiting list to come and save them. So what if you wouldn't have got that email? What if it would have took another 2 years, 3 years? I believe she would have definitely continued waiting. Definitely continue waiting. And funny enough, she might have even racked up another kid or two. Because this is what we see. Typically, this is the pattern. Because how are you going to get ahead Trips cost money. So every time you get a little bit of money, you're spending it on your yearly trip or whatever. You don't get to have a yearly trip. If you have the disposable income to go on a yearly trip, which ultimately means you would spend that money, no, you need to save that money because you allegedly don't have no money. But if you continue to feel like you get all these yearly things and you get to treat yourself and all this type of stuff, how are you actually going to start saving so that you can actually start taking responsibility for your life and ultimately the choices that you make and the dependence that you choose to take on and conceive?
which is perfect for everything that we're going through. Then on top of that, I told y'all I'm trying to take them to Florida for our yearly vacation. And Lord, if God keep blessing me the way that He's doing, and keep covering me with keep holding His hands, or covering me with His blood, the way that He's doing, I know He will bless me with the funds that I need to make everything that I want to, for my kids, happen. And I know I can make it happen. Baby, I just want to say thank you to all the people that told me, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope, baby. Everything that you're going through just means that your breakthrough is coming through. The only thing is that they want me to send in birth certificates, and I swear to y'all, I took me and the other kid, like, all our birth certificates, but for some odd reason I can't find 3 of them. So now I gotta go out tomorrow and Instacart, try to make $75 to go and get our birth certificates. The last 3 birth certificates that they need.
These be the self-inflicted wounds. Just creating expenses. Of all things, how you lose the birth certificates? I know exactly where my birth certificate is, my social security thing. I have my stuff in a certain place, and I know exactly where it is to track it down. And I've carried it with me through life. I've never had to get another one. How you losing all y'all birth certificates? Listen, it can happen, but she just said that's going to cost $75. You're in destitution. You can't, this is what I mean. You can't afford to be going on trips and then also making costly mistakes. It just becomes a spiral, unorganized, chaotic. You got to start working on the things within yourself so that everything around you can start changing. You have to start working on the internal things within yourself so that everything around you can start changing. You have to be organized. You have to know where things are. Y'all will be so organized and so meticulous when it comes to the courts and when it comes to applying for assistance and getting help and getting all your ducks in a row for that. But you losing your kids' birth certificates? But again, I think the theme of this video, a lot of these people do not prioritize their kids. From what we can see, man, the kids is an afterthought. And we have to address the elephant in the room. If you don't have kids, you don't get government. You don't get Section 8, most likely. So it's like, dang near, the kids already done paid their way. The least you can do is just preserve. Just don't lose their important stuff that they're going to need. Their birth certificates.
I made $75 to go and get our birth certificates. The last 3 birth certificates that they need, because everything has to be turned in by Friday in order for them to get the process rolling. And baby, I cannot afford to lose this right now. This is just not something that's worth losing. So y'all, again, thank y'all for everything. Thank y'all for all my followers that been here, and thank you to the supporters that been supporting me and keeping me headstrong. Let's see what this new journey brings us.
I hope it works out, but I just hope as well that you're not taking advantage of it, and I hope that you're actually having some urgency and not wanting to stay on it. Some people will even see the new 2-year limit for Section 8. And the 2-year limit is basically, you know how people used to be able to stay on Section 8 for decades, 50 years, all that. Now, in most cases, it should be regressed to only 2 years. However, there are exceptions which I think we're going to have to look out for, which a lot of people will probably abuse those exceptions, which, of course, if you have small children, newborn children, so you got to keep an eye out on that. People may look at it as a way to take advantage of it as, let me just get pregnant again. Right? I think that's very probable as far as what will happen. Short-sighted as it may be, people are definitely impulsive and short-sighted enough to try to buy themselves more time that way to abuse the system. People are going to try to abuse the system any way they can abuse the system. It won't even make sense, but just if there is a way, they will do it, even if it doesn't make sense, especially long term. I wish her the best. I hope she's able to get out of this, but I'm saying I feel like I hope she addresses it with the urgency, but she's clearly not addressing it with the urgency because you're taking a trip. You're taking a trip. Who in poverty gets to take trips? Imagine if it was a panhandler on the side of the road with a sign that felt entitled to you helping them get out of their situation. And then you start to talk to them. And then they say, yeah, and and then I got to take my yearly trip coming up in August. And then right as you're giving them the file, you be like, well, hold on. Wait, what? Take your yearly trip. How you paying for that? Oh man, I gotta find a way to pay for that. That's gotta happen. It's probably just gonna have to come out of these funds, but I gotta go. It's my yearly trip. Man, don't you know it's a lot of working people that don't even take a yearly trip? I don't think I took a trip last year. What are we talking about? Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. It's going kind of long. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels. So that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video. And also if you want to become a member of the channel as well, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments where it would show people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and also exclusive content that's not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join buttons on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.